I was sitting here thinking, and I do like to sit and think sometimes. So that's what I do. I come out to a location and I just sit and think for a little while. So look, y'all, when it comes to my money, the way I handle it is I typically don't go into debt for anything. I don't borrow money. I don't have credit cards. I don't have student loans. I don't have any form of car loan or any form of mortgage. Like I said, I don't borrow money for anything. That's pretty much my motto. And it has helped me greatly. It has propelled me down the path of wealth creation quickly. I wouldn't even say quickly, but it has propelled me down the path of wealth creation through the habit of not going into debt for things. Now, have I gone into debt for things? Absolutely. But throughout my life, the majority of my adult life has been in a manner where I do not borrow money. I don't go into debt for anything. Now, am I not getting wealthy as quick as some people? I guess, whatever you want to say. But I know that on the path that I'm on, it doesn't require me to go out and earn money and then give all my money away on the first of the month. See, when you don't have payments and you earn money, you have money. Now I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna let these people stroll on by, and then once they stroll by, I'm gonna come back and continue to give you guys game on how to live a debt-free life. See, it's quite common. It's quite common whenever you're out in the world, you're gonna attract people. It's just human nature. People are curious, especially when you're in sort of an area. I'm in Madrid, Spain right now, y'all. Especially when you're in an area where, there's not too many uh, darker skinned people. People just curious. But back to what I was saying, y'all. When you out in the world and you don't owe people money and you're not slave to the lender and you're not out here borrowing dollars to, finance your life, you start to develop a lifestyle that is tailor made for you. See, when we live on credit, we live on debt. We live more of a fat. It's like nitro. It's like nitrogen in a vehicle. The vehicle's capable of going this many miles per hour, but you hit it with that nitrogen, it'll really ramp up. You hit it with steroids, it'll really start to kick up. It'll get real strong, but it's not sustainable. And when you're hitting it with the nitrogen and you're hitting it with the steroids and you're hitting it with the excess, that makes the illusion of doing well, you're not really understanding that it's destroying your body. It's destroying the vehicle, whether it's actually a vehicle or if it's a human body. So my goal isn't to go real fast. I'm not really out here trying to go fast to the objective. I'm trying to go to the objective methodically with a strategy, tactically. Like in the military, some of the most elite units out there, they don't go and it looks fast on TV, but in reality, like in the real thing, it's quite slow. planning, getting to the objective, maneuvering on the objective. It looks real fast and all. I mean, there are sprinting moments. There are moments where, you know, there is sprinting going on, but then it slows right down to that slower pace. You're working on the objective. You're trying to get to the objective. You get on the objective, and you're trying to get off the objective. And there are moments where it is just slow. I mean, hours go by. You're like, what is going on? These guys are still not off the objective. So my goal is not to go fast. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So I don't need the nitrogen. I don't need the steroids. I don't need the debt because I ain't trying to go fast. I'm trying to go in a methodical manner. I'm trying to go in a strategic, tactical manner where the odds are in my favor of building a form of wealth over my lifetime. So I'll let the people who want to go into debt go into debt. I mean, that doesn't really set you up to live a life that's enjoyable. I mean, who wants to be slave to the lender? Who wants to be borrowing money and having to pay it back on the first of the month, every month? That sounds like slavery. Who wants to go out into the world and earn dollars to then have to give all them dollars away? Yeah, I get you pay off the credit card every month, but majority, if not all, of your income goes to paying what? Off the freaking credit card. So I don't care how good you are at racking up points and overspending your income on credit. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, look, y'all, I've done it. I played the stupid game. I've got the award. I've got the trophy on numerous occasions. But I have come to the realization that I don't want to play that game anymore. I woke up a while back and I said, this is stupid. We're cutting up the credit cards. We're going into work and we're going to put the credit cards through the shredder. And that was it. And I put it in my mind, Proverbs 22:7, that the borrower is slave to the lender. I ingrained this stuff. I imbued this mentality into my mind that we're not going into debt for anything. We don't need debt. We don't need to be living on credit. I make enough money every month to live a decent life where I don't have to have payments. Now, people, they want to live on payments their entire life, have mortgages and credit cards and student loans or car loans their entire life. I mean, go ahead, move fast. I might not drive the best vehicle. I might not have the fanciest stuff. But at the end of the day, I got my life. I've got the autonomy. I have the choice. I have the negotiation factor that a lot of people don't have, y'all. There's a ton of people out here that don't have the ability to go into their boss's office and say, nah, boss, I'm a little sick of this. I'm not going to put up with this anymore, in a respectful manner. And first off, you have to be somebody of great integrity. You have to be someone of hard work. You have to be someone who is diligent. You can't be somebody that's sitting in a break room or in the smoking area, for 50% of the for 50% of the workday. That ain't gonna work. But if you're a diligent person and you putting in work for the company and you say, look, man, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I need a raise. And if they can't do it, you say, well, I gotta go. There's more opportunities out there for me, or hey, I'm getting to the point like, I have no debt. I have a fully funded emergency fund of 6 months. I have an investment account. I have my 401k. I've got my Roth IRA. I've got money stashed aside just as a no thank you account. Like, no thank you. No thank you. I'm good. I'm not doing that. I've got money set aside. I'm amassing wealth. Look, boss, is there a possibility maybe we could start doing a 3-day work week, a 3-day weekend for me every week? Or maybe there's an opportunity to, hey, anyway, I could work 90 days and then take, you know, half a month off or a month off. See, but you can't do this if you're living in bondage. If you're ball and chain, if you're a slave to the lender, if you go out. What's Dave Ramsey say? He said, I owe, so off the work I go." If if you're living that type of life, it's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be extremely challenging to ever negotiate your life, to ever gain any type of choice, to ever gain any type of autonomy in your life where you're able to govern yourself. You want to be able to govern yourself a little bit out here. You don't want to be so governed by your job or so governed by some type of external entity, credit cards or MasterCard. Who's the master? you know, all these different creditors and, Toyota Motor and Honda Motor, Honda Finance and BMW Finance and Mercedes. Like, that's no fun, y'all. I played the game. I told you I've got the award on numerous occasions. I've been stupid. I know stupid. I get it. I got the award. And I just don't want to play that game anymore. That's my big thing. I don't have anything against if you want to, if that's what you want to do in your life. But I know in my life, I like choice. I like the choice. I like the autonomy. I like the ability to negotiate areas of my life from a strength standpoint, not from a standpoint of, well, hopefully they'll give me a raise, or hopefully they'll give me off for my daughter on my son's birthday. They got to go on this trip, or they got this sports thing going on. Hopefully they'll give me off. No, I want to be able to negotiate my life from a place of strength. And it's really hard to do that if you're lathered in debt. When you lather a turkey in butter, you get that butter, you put it all over the turkey, you season it well, you throw it in that oven. That's what I mean by lathered in debt. When you are lathered in debt, car payments, student loans, credit cards, mortgages, and I'm not too against mortgage. I just don't want one. So I'll be patient and I'll wait and I'll pile up cash and I'll just go buy a house, in the next decade. I'm patient. I really am not in a rush. So that's just how I look at my life. But if you want to go and get a 15-year mortgage, go ahead. I don't borrow money for anything. So I can't really tell you anything else. I don't know another way at this point in my life because I know the other way. I know the bondage way. I know the slavery way. I know the, paycheck to paycheck way. I know the minimum payment way. I know that way. And I don't want to do it. It's like if you've gotten sick off of something before, some type of food or something, some specific restaurant. Like, I'm not going back there. You get what I'm saying? You get to the point where you're like, I'm not going back there. There is nothing you could tell me. You could not, there's nothing in this world that I want that bad that would make me go back to that restaurant, go eat there. There's nothing in this world you could ever dangle in front of me. There's no carrot, there's no stick you could dangle in front of me that would say, "Yo, Isaac, you want to go borrow money to get this thing? You want to go into debt for this? You want to take on credit? You want to go get a mortgage? You want to take out this loan?" No, I'll just ride a bicycle to work every day. I will walk to work. I will take public transportation. There's literally nothing in this world that I want that bad to go into debt for. And you may come up with some type of, some fictitious story on how to, well, what if this happened or that happened? I would say 97% of the time when people take on debt, it is a voluntary act. There is nothing, there's no dire situation. There is no life, limb, or eyesight on the on the table. There's nothing like that. It is typically totally a voluntary act out of convenience or luxury. It's an act of, hey, I want this. It's a form of convenience in this modern day world. We didn't have cars back then. Now, I'm not saying everybody should walk to work or ride a bicycle to work. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing. You'd probably be in way better shape. I mean, it's pretty much a win win. You're saving money and you're staying fit. So, but we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the borrowing of money. The Bible says that the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7 says that the rich rule over the poor and that the borrower is slave to the lender. So why would I go into debt for anything? Like if the Bible told you anything else, people would be like, well, yeah. Like they talk about the Ten Commandments. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. But people talk, what this is so comical. It's so comical. But the Bible says that the rich rule over the poor and that the borrower is slave to the lender. 22:7 Proverbs. We're like, nah, nah, it's okay. It's literally telling you that the borrower is slave to the lender. Do you know what it looks like to be a slave? Do you know what it is to be a slave? Look back go look at a documentary on slavery, any form of slavery, African American slavery, Latin slavery, you know, European slavery, whatever slavery you want to speak on. Nothing about that slavery is good. Not one aspect says, yeah, this feels right. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, let's do more of this. Yeah, slavery's all right. No, slavery is wrong. But we do it in a voluntary manner these days. We just sign up. We pick up the pen and we sign across the dotted line and we put ourselves in bondage. And I'm not speaking at you. I told you, I keep telling you, I've got the award in stupidity when it comes to finance. I've gotten the award in stupidity when it comes to the handling and the stewarding of my own dollars. I've gotten the award when it comes to going into debt for things. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. But we do it time and time again, year after year. $299 a month. For only $7.99 a month, you can have this vehicle. For only X amount of minimum payments a month, you know, you can have this toaster oven. And we're sitting here looking like, yo, this is normal. I'm sitting here looking like this is normal. Are you real? Are you being for real right now? We just do it. It's like normality now. We don't really think about it anymore. We stopped thinking about it. It became so normal that we don't even think about it anymore. But then again, we go downtown in our nearest big city and we look up, and what is up there? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, American Express, some credit company, someone who's selling you money. They're not there to to take all your deposits and say, okay, we're making money off your deposit. No, they're taking your money and now they're able to loan that money out. And they're able to not loan what you deposited, but they're able to loan that times an amount. And they get really rich. Like I said previously, like I have said, they rake it in. You know, like when you're raking in your leaves, like you have your leaves in your yard and you rake the leaves in. That's how they rake the money in. And but when you in your house and you fill up that small dustpan, you sweep and you fill up a dustpan. That's like elementary things. But big banks, creditors, they rake it in. They rake it in. I mean, you have no idea. You don't even you guys could only imagine. You can't imagine. And we allow them to do it. Now I'm not out here saying, oh, they're the bad guy. No, we let them do it. We sign up for the crap. And we call it, well, we needed to. We say it in some type of, well, I needed to do this, or I had no choice. Well, modern day convenience and modern day luxury, yeah, if you're operating on that mentality, of course, you're always gonna have a, well, I needed it, because modern day convenience and modern day luxury, you know, frames your mindset in a manner that you think you need all this stuff, when in reality you don't need it. Like I always say, I drove a 97 F-150 for 8 years that I paid $3,300 for. And that served me well. And I had very, very little issues with it. To be so honest with you, I had little issues with the thing, you know. And now I look around and I'm just like, people taking on 20, $30,000 in, debt, and it's like, oh, what are we doing? Like, why do we keep signing? Why do people keep signing up for this? And no one understands, because it's just normality. But at some point, you got to break free from it. And to break free from it, it can be challenging. And when you do decide to break free from living a life of debt, you need to do it quick. You got to do it fast. You can't play no games with it. You got to break free from it. Boom. It needs to be like an explosion. Boom. It needs to be kinetic. When you're getting out of debt, it needs to be a kinetic act. You need to break free from it rapidly. You need to break free rapidly in a kinetic manner as an explosion. It needs to dismember. You need to dismember yourself from ever, ever taking on debt. You need to dismember the debt mentality from your mindset. And when you do it in that fashion, if you do it in a kinetic manner where it's quick and it's rapid and there's an intensity behind it, then you may find out that you never revert back to a life of debt, of payments, of minimum payments, of living a life of credit. But you have to break free from it rapidly. It needs to be kinetic, and it needs to be in a manner that that strikes up a lot of emotion in you. You need to get angry with the process of debt. You have to get, it needs to stew up an intensity inside of you that says, we're never doing this again. We're not living like this anymore. We're not living on credit. We're not living on debt. We're not going into debt for anything. If we need it, we'll go pay cash for it. And I know we don't have the money right now, but we'll get the money. And your mentality has to become that we'll get the money. We'll get it. It's no problem. And you will get there. You will get there. But you have to just go on the journey, y'all. Go on the journey. If you have ever been on a very long journey in this life, I don't care if it's going through school, I don't care if it's going through some type of military selection process. I don't know what it is. If you have ever been on a journey, I want to let you know that the life of living debt free is going to be like that journey. It's going to have ups and downs. It's going to be strenuous, and it's going to take something out of you. But when you do it and you break free from it and you dismember yourself from the debt in a kinetic manner that strikes up an emotion in you, your brain will say, we're never doing that again. We are not living on payments. We will not do this anymore. And when you do that, There's a lot of fun on the other side of it. You'll have an amazing time, and you'll see all what God has for you, living a debt-free life. When you get paid every week or every other week and you have very, very, very little bills, I mean, you don't have any debt, so you don't have any payments, and you have very little bills, and you got all this money set aside every month to do whatever you need to do with, oh, golly, life gets good. You start to detach yourself from that lack, scarcity, and not enough mindset. You're looking at other people like, why are you doing this? And some people you'll never be able to persuade to live a debt-free life. All they know is payments. It's like an addiction, like living fast, living on that nitro, living on that, that steroid. Oh, living on that drug of choice of debt. Oh man, it's like, yeah, it's no other option. There's no other option. But I'm here to tell you, there's another option. There's a completely different lifestyle on the other side of breaking free from a life of debt. When you break free from a life of debt, there is a completely different life on the other side. I'm not talking about small changes. I'm talking about it's a completely different life. I mean, you could not imagine it. You could never imagine it. This is something you need to feel. Breaking free from debt is a feeling. There's a feeling that comes from it. Living a life without payments, there's a feeling that comes from it. And I need you to try and at least go out there and get a taste of it. Because once you taste freedom, and the thing is, hey, I say go out there and just taste a little bit of it. I mean, go out there and get out of debt, break free from it in a kinetic manner, quick, rapidly, as if like your life depends on it. Like your life or somebody you love's life depends on it. And once you get out of debt and you feel what it feels like to not have payments every month, and you have a lot of money left over, and you're able to invest that money and then build wealth over a long period of time. Look, y'all, I started this back in 2015, November 15th, 2015. But you do this and you break free from debt and you see what's on the other side of it, you will find out that one, you can always go back into debt if you really want to. But you'll also find out that you never want to do that again. And that the freedom that you have from living a debt-free life, the choice, the autonomy, the ability to negotiate your life with strength, oh man, you never want to detach from that. So look, y'all, I'm out of here. I waffled on for a little while, but I hope I was able to stew up some emotion in you, get you motivated, get you inspired to live a debt-free life. Remember, it all starts with a plan. So do your budget every month. Stick to the budget. And second, pay the debts off from smallest to largest. So the smallest one, that small credit card, then the next credit card, then the next one, and sooner or later, it'll all be gone. And it typically takes people anywhere from 18 to 24 months. If you just go real hard and you strike up that emotion in you, and you do this in a kinetic manner, you'll be out of debt probably in 6 to 12 months. You never know. Some of y'all can do it. I want to see you with choice. I want to see you with autonomy. I want to see you with the ability to negotiate your life. Look, y'all, I'm out of here. You can win. But like I always say, you got a man sure want to win.